Hey, what's up? Simon here. I haven't recorded in 2 months, as per usual, more or less, that I haven't recorded in forever. It tends to be like that in the situation I am in right now. I want to do this more often. Like, I'm very lopsided. I think I'm a little bit lopsided overall as a person. I think it, but yeah. That's not the problem. The problem is, yeah, as per usual, like my anxiety keeps me from, yeah, living a normal life or something similar of a normal life. Because, I can't, I can't really concentrate to do shit anymore that well. And that sucks. Like, it really sucks, but there's not much I can do really except just keeping on. So yeah, this helps a lot. That's why I do this right now is just because I felt like I needed to just talk a little bit of shit. Because yeah, I haven't done this in a while. And I really enjoy it. And I should do them more often, but struggling with my mental health, it isn't that easy always. There's a lot of things I want to do, but never do, or yeah, it's just how things are. I think my share has started getting a little lopsided too. Maybe that's why I'm sitting so lopsided. I've been like thinking about it for a while, but I haven't been sure if it started to get more and more tilted the one way more than the other. Yeah, you know, it's I'm increasing my volume a little bit. I don't think I hear myself quite enough. I think my hello. I don't know if my hearing's gonna like worse or something because it might be something with my auto setup that makes that things. I just I just crank up my volume in my headphones a lot and have a really loud volume without really thinking about it, and it changed a lot just over a little period of time. So I don't know what that depends on. If it's like just that I've been in really loud environments lately and my ears have just adjusted more and more to like take silly amounts of volume. But I don't know. I don't know. I really do not. I really do not. I really don't. Yeah. So it's it's gonna be just a big ramble as per usual. I don't have like it feels like I don't have usually it feels like I can waffle a lot more in one way, like what I have appeared to think and talk about usually a lot more. But I woke up fairly recently. It's dark outside, uh, as you may see and not seem. It's not that late. It's 6:41 p.m. So yeah, I don't I don't know why I changed my clock to PM. We don't use PM in Sweden, but I should just use the digital clock, but I don't. I don't. I don't know why I changed that. I can't remember why. But it's been good practice. Now it's like it doesn't really matter which clock I use, which is nice. If I ever decide to move to America or the United States of America to be more precise. but I'm probably leaning more towards Canada right now, actually. I would like to move a lot to another country. That won't be in 1.5 year, probably. It depends on if I complete my college education or not, which I might not do because I'm really far behind. And I don't know, I could go another year too, but if I can't actually, if I take another year of, if I like stay back one grade after the summer and start the second year again, and maybe I won't complete it even then, and then I'm just like I wasted even more time. So yeah, it it really sucks that I put myself in this situation, more or less. I thought like starting college, moving to another town, like it could have changed things a lot for the better, and it kinda changed things for the better in many ways, but also not in a lot of others. It made me realize, even though it's an education I kinda like, I don't like the what I'm studying too much. It's a little less practical than I wanted. There's a lot of theory and just it's I didn't realize when I applied, but it's actually um, philosophy what my school is, even though, or not my school, or yeah, like kind of the whole school. But what we study is actually philosophy, even though it's sound design. So it got a lot of philosophy in it, and I like philosophy to some extent, and I fucking hate philosophy to some extent too. It's a little bit too artsy for my taste, quite a lot, and I don't like it. I don't really artsy things. I think you know it's it's fine if people want to live like that, but it just feels so fucking tacked on many times when it comes to art, and a lot of people are just artsy because they like being artsy. That's the kind of people they decided to be. Like I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna be special and unique, and I'm gonna dress in black clothes and like yeah, it's I don't I don't like the artsy things too much, even though I love like creating things and love other stuff people create. Sometimes I think people, I don't know, just been taught to be really like over ambitious about it, or I can't, pretentious is the word I've been looking for. It feels really pretentious, a lot of things about it, and I don't like when people or things are too pretentious. I mean I'm fine with it sometimes, but it's also, I don't want to hit on it too much. If people decide to live like that, sure, fine. But I don't like when people just basically decide to, this is the stereotype I'm going to live after. I've started to realize that people do that a lot more, and it's a fun way to think that some people actually live their life like this. And I mean, I don't want to do like barrage, something about it. Barrage, something, someone about it. But I just think it's interesting when you more or less think like, I don't know. It's just interesting that people feel like if they want to be a cop, they're gonna be like, they're gonna, everything they do, they I mean, they're gonna be a cop constantly. That's a job which I assume affect people more than others, that you really need to go into a role. But I just think it's interesting that people become their work, their ambitions, their goals. Like they really try to become a decided thing. Like that society accept or expects you to act and think in a way, or be perceived in a way, just because what you decided to do, or who you're decided to be, even. Because people fucking decide who they want to be and change that after just looking at basically, yeah, what's expected from them of society if they go that path. Like, I also have friends that basically, I've seen friends that almost shows into the grow up path, where it it just feels like they're just trying to become adults in the sense of what the stereotype of what an adult is are supposed to do, basically. Like, it's just interesting that people who actively try to become adults and really think about that a lot too, which is like, you need to get a job, and you know, if you get a friend, I will girlfriend, lucky girlfriend. If you get a girlfriend or something, and like, just I had one friend that really, like, kind of decided to go that path, and it's interesting when he's 21 now as me, but like, he's been when he met his girlfriend, he decided just to spend a lot of time with her, and basically devote like 2 years to her or something. And I just think that's interesting too. When you decide, that's also kind of role you decide to fill in. Maybe that's the more role, like the really boyfriend role of, I don't know. Why put all eggs in one basket? I can't really relate because I haven't been in a relationship, like, basically ever. Only when I was 14, and to a lot of people that probably don't count. I barely do. I do because, but still, like, I was 14, and you, like, not to, when you're 14, not to talk down a person that's 14. Like, you can know a lot of shit when you're 14. There's a lot of 14 years old that's smarter and better than me in, like, a lot of ways. There are a lot of genius 14-year-olds too. So, but there's, you know, it's it's just interesting. I I don't know. Maybe I work the same way, that I really try to become something. In some way I do. Like, I know that I'm weird, and I've been that all my life. Not necessarily in a bad way, but I'm just a strange person in many ways. Like, I always thought in a different way. Like, I don't see a lot of things in, like, a normal way. I usually see things a bit differently compared to majority of people. Of course, everyone have their, like, everyone's different. No one thinks in the same way, and I think it's impossible to replicate a person, because there's so many factors that, like, just where you grown up, and then there's the genetic part of it, which is also huge, but experiences and just your own output on things is also interesting. What you decide to do, and what your what you want to do of the situation. And no, it's just something. like it's something I think it's hard to think about. Do you really decide who you become? Like you're born in this situation you are, you get what you get, and can you really change anything? Because I don't believe in faith, really. I don't like the thought of it. It scares me a bit. Yeah, I don't like that something that things are decided, and it just, I don't know, it's a thought that don't really gel with me good at all. I suppose it's like because I don't know, I kinda would feel more unimportant if things were decided. Even though if like maybe if there's a destiny, if destiny actually exists and I'm destined for something great to some extent or another, just I don't know. I don't I would prefer to actually get my there myself, maybe, or something. I don't know. I just don't like the thought of destiny and faith. It's I don't know. It's probably because my faith I've decided on believing and how I see the world is that things are chance, just complete coincidence, and that's starting to scare me a lot when I see things just when coincidences happen. It like it can really fuck with me sometimes because sometimes it feels like I don't know if I hear about a movie, I learn about a movie that might be an old movie and they haven't really thought about it or something, and people mention it one podcast or something, and then I go watch something that's completely separately, like something I usually follow, like another podcast or YouTube or something, and then they start talking about the same thing in like the period of 24 hours, or that's just one example I had the other day, but it's stuff like that. It was the movie The Rock with Nicolas Cage. I haven't seen that. That's a movie I actually want to see now. But it's just a thing like that can really like shake me up a little bit. I suppose I've gotten more and more paranoid over the years. I'm a little bit narcissistic, paranoid, and overall pretty self-centered. I realized that I've become really self-centered lately again, and I don't know. I don't like realize that I'm really self-centered, but a lot of like when people, just normal conversation when people talk to me, I tend to focus on myself a lot, and I mean, that's good too, but I don't like that's not how you converse well usually. You're supposed to listen to the other person and like ask them questions, and I'm as I said, I've become more narcissistic and self-centered, so a lot of time I yeah, but they can just ask how are you and just like the standard shit like that. I I don't ask them back quite a lot that question or something like that, and it's just I just realized that I've become more self-centered lately. But I also do that when I'm in worse state of mind, or not worse really, but when I'm not in a like good mental place, which I'm not right now, or haven't been lately. Been quite down, had a lot of anxiety again. Like, I always have anxiety, but it's kind of been worse the last few weeks, and I've had like just really bad anxiety. And it's, I don't know, it's annoying to go through these phases because it's so often feels like I'm not getting anywhere really. Like, I always have the same problems and usually get into similar states of mind and ways to act, and I just I just find it interesting, even though I evolve, or hopefully I evolve and get like learn new things. And stagnation is something that scares me, and I don't I like progress, and when it feels like really I don't really succeed with like progressing at all in life really, or it's not really that either, but I don't know, it's just annoying to basically when I'm mushing a lot of things together now because it's something like I haven't really made up my mind about it. It's something that I'm not. I haven't made my opinion about it too much. But just something, yeah. It's something I need to think and talk about more and just get more views out of it. It's not too many perspectives you can really. I mean, it's kind of perspective of myself, and I think like the only important perspective in that part is my own of myself. Even though I don't know, it might be like how just I'm thinking about like if I would ask people about honest like opinion of what they think and believe and see me, like how they perceive me basically. That's something also too I don't know if I would really want and if it would help, because more perspectives are always good and helps you in life. I think like the more perspectives and more ways you can see, like if you can flip the coin and see first both side of it, but also like realize that there's also a lot more to a coin, even though there's more than two sides to a coin too, because it's also got the edges, and like there's not just two parts to one story. There's always unlimited amounts of perspective. So like the metaphor of seeing a situation like a coin is a little bit flawed if you just think of it that a coin has two sides, because in a way, because it's a circular, like if you put it on the side it's a circle, um, and then it's kind of have unlimited amounts of edges or sides to it depending on how you see it. But yeah, like I always try to see things in more perspectives, and but the point I was waffling about that I didn't really, when I just incoherently barely made up a sentence before about just like how I perceive my anxiety is it annoys me sometimes is just that like I said, it feels like I come back to the same patterns of how I act and just how I functional, and it might be in ways I don't really like me going back to. Just like being more self-centered when I that's something when I'm the the more and more like depressed I am, like depression is like I don't know if I'm depressed now or not. It's I don't think I am, but I have a really strange relation to it because I've been living with anxiety and depression like a lot of back and forth, and anxiety been more and more or less constant, but also I've been depressed a lot, like for years. And then I don't know anymore if I'm depressed or not, or if I can even like call it depressed, because it's just become like such a mush after a while. I can't really tell if I am or not because I'm so used being depressed and having anxiety that it's hard to like define a period of when I'm depressed. Basically, maybe I'm been. I don't know. I don't feel depressed really. I don't know. I half kinda don't feel capable of really getting into a big depression in one way, but I'm also like always half stuck in one. So it's just a strange, like it's a strange thing to be in. But yeah, as I said, yeah, it just feels annoying that I get into the same patterns, and that's probably because who I am as a person and how I've grown up, and just because I've been struggling with anxiety and like being self-centered, and maybe that's just who I am, kinda. Like it's been a a part of me so long, so it's kinda it's basically me by now to some extent. And I don't know, maybe it's always something I will always come back to forever. Which I don't know. Maybe, but I mean, everyone's self centered too, but I'm just really incoherent. A lot of, just a lot of unformed thoughts, and I don't really now know how to put my thoughts and what to think, really. I'm kinda I'm kinda a little bit in that space overall right now, that I think I'm just overwhelmed overall in like a lot of ways, because I've been feeling pretty well lately, but I have good times. I've laughed a lot quite lately, but I'll also like being crying a lot again, which I do in periods. Sometimes it's a way for me usually to deal with stuff. When I was younger, I've cried a lot. Like when I've probably it's like a big part. Many years it was almost every day, and it's like I've cried so much that I physically or psychologically couldn't cry anymore. Like I couldn't cry for a while just because I cried too much, and that's an interesting point to get to when you like you feel shit but you can't cry, and that's interesting. Um, and probably how people react to this in different ways too. Like some people just don't feel the need to cry that much, and rarely extremely do or never do. But yeah, I've always or yeah, definitely I'm probably a person that I've cried way more than average person, like way more. Because I said it was like every day when I was younger and several times a day, and like it's I think it's nice. I don't know, it's as I said when I was younger, and I know like I know now that I was when I look back I know that I was depressed, but it's hard to know if I'm that now or not because I know a lot of time there's periods of time still where I cry a lot in periods, and not a lot, but yeah, quite a lot. Like sometimes every day, but usually it's every once in a while, and sometimes I don't cry in months because even though I might feel shit, it's just something my body not willing to do basically. I don't know. I don't know how it works or why I work like that, but it's interesting. It's something I would I would like to know more about it, more about myself and reactions to it, like why I cry in some periods of time and some I don't. Maybe it's just I don't know. Sometimes I can get a little bit like I don't know, not annoyed with it really. It's almost more annoying with when I can't cry when I feel like crying, and that happens like in periods too. Or when it feels like I should cry but I'm not, or something like that. It's hard to explain. Oh yeah, I've been rambling for 32 minutes, and it's been really, I don't know, not too incoherent. But it's hard. It's hard to talk about feelings, and like it's such an abstract thing to do, and I like to talk about it and think about it, but it's really hard to explain to someone else or to yourself or to camera, and hopefully someone else will explain or understand it sooner or later or something. I don't. It's just it's hard to explain, especially when you don't have actually a person to like check off on if they get it or not to bounce it on. But it's a good practice to just try to explain it to whoever. But I don't know. I feel like I just rambled a lot incoherent words and sentences where I haven't just stringed random words together because I'm like thinking about different things up here and they don't come out words at the same time. It's just yeah. It felt nice talking about it at least. My anxiety feels better. Which why I did this basically because yeah, a lot of anxiety lately. And just talking about it helps even though it's like incoherent, and it just gives me a different perspective of things when I actually try to explain them and understand them, and that's why I probably should do this more often. But yeah, it's hard. Life's hard and cruel and very beautiful and nice, but mostly cruel and hard for sure. I mean, yeah, no doubt about it, but I guess that's also what makes life beautiful. If it wouldn't be such a harsh and horrible world, if everything was perfect, things would get bland. And this world is bland, but not at all at the same time. Because there's a lot of shit in it. But you can still find happiness, I think, like to some extent. At least I feel happy, or I feel well in periods of times. And even though I got anxiety, I usually say that things are all right because they are all right. Like I'm fine with how things are, even though when I have anxiety and feel like shit, that things aren't too bad in my situation, really. But, you know, it's just. I'm in a very strange position. Being Swedish probably puts in that position quite a lot because I've talked about this before, but such a privileged life with a lot of good things, and like I would never probably starve in Sweden, and it just, I don't know, it's fucked me up pretty badly. Yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna go and blow my nose and upload this. Probably start uploading this quite quickly. Um, I don't know how much. If no one will ever go through this, like me and maybe one or two other during like the history of whenever. It would be really interesting to actually see if this would like blow up this channel in many years. It would just be strange, very strange. I don't know how I would react to. Like I don't know if I actually would like to people start watching this. Like random people finding this, maybe not a lot of, but let's say like I have a constant, like a following of 10 persons or something. It would be so strange to me. Probably with the way I do things now, I think I have a hard. It would be really hard time because I make these videos too long and rambly, and people don't really have the attention span of it. Um, I've been thinking about doing more edited, like to do a video like this and just edit it down because I would like to improve my editing too, also. But I kind of think I'm kind of tired of seeing people. There's so much edited content of people online, and I'm kind of bored of it to some extent. I think it's really cool and nice in one way, but you know, I just want to create something honest. And when you edit, you don't really create something honest because you know you create like you try to make people perceive yourself in a completely other way because you filter your way you yourself another time. I'm already filtering myself with every word I think, more or less. I try to close off that filter fairly well when I do this. And I try not to have a filter too much either, just like, but you will always filter yourself. That's how things works. But when you also edit, you can like filter what you've said too. So that's like another filter of yourself. And I don't know. I don't lo- I like that kind of content too, but I also want to create this more honest, open content where I try to like make an interesting video without editing and stuff. And I do this also because I want them to be very like self biographic or biography. Yeah, self biographic. I don't think that's maybe the right way to put it, but yeah, self biography basically what this is to some extent. Like just a lot of me. A lot of me. And I've still filtered myself a lot with this. Like there's things I've thought about uploading but never done, and I don't know. I probably couldn't go like 100% all out on this, and uh, just for nothing. Like, I like doing this, and it's also a bit risky. Like, I put out a lot of information about myself on the internet, and it definitely has its risk. And sometimes I don't know if I should like actually have my full name on the channel name down there. I mean, it's so unnecessary. Really, it doesn't give me anything right now, except like the potential of disaster. Really, because I don't know what people will do with this information if like you know if it's just it's a risk. It's a dumb risk, really. I've decided to just take, and yeah, so far like it doesn't matter today, but I don't know what happens if I forget about the channel and have it up for years, and maybe I've said something that's considered really fucking bad in a few years, or whatever. Or just people, just if I apply for a job and like employer found this and will watch this, and maybe I'll talk about something that's not kosher at all in one way or another. It's just a risk. It makes me freak out sometimes I really think about, oh my fucking god, wow, why do I do this? Like, there's nothing to gain really, except that I want to do it. But why do I want to do it? Really, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like I want to be famous, but I also don't think I would want to be famous. It's interesting. Like, I do these because I like them, but there's also like YouTube kind of is my dream job too. But I'm not sure if I would be compatible with it either. I don't know. It's just I don't know. Yeah, I was thinking about ending this video way before, as you may remember. You may have forgotten if you got into this point too, because that's how long ago it was. But yeah, it's been nice rambling. I want to do more rambles in the future, the soon future. Will I? Maybe, maybe not, probably not. Shouldn't say that I probably won't do that because it will decrease my. If I say yes, I will do more of these. But I also. That's something. I don't want to go on too long with this, but you know. I often say that I will do things just because I know that will improve my chances of actually do it if I say I will do this. I might not do them anyway. But sometimes I say that I will do things just to hopefully do them. Because it's something I want to do and should do or something like that. But I know there's the possibility I won't also. So I kind of try to increase the possibility of it happening. But yeah. I want to do more of this, however. Yeah. Thanks, goodbye, bye. Uh, this, that's not as smooth as I wanted it.